Welcome to Our Drummers Musicians. I'm your host Luke, and today I'm chatting with JIM ALXNDR, a producer, artist, and multi-instrumentalist whose career has taken him across the world, from the UK to Australia, to Berklee and Boston, and LA, where he developed his production skills. Jim's musical journey is fascinating, starting with saxophone at school, being thrown into gigs from a young age, developing a passion for jazz, and eventually moving into production and songwriting. In this episode, we talk about all his experiences, including studying jazz and contemporary music at the VCA, the differences between music education in Australia versus the US, and his transition into working as a producer and original artist in more contemporary music scenes. We also dive into his collaborations, including with Angie McMahon, and of course we chat about his latest project, the Light EP, and the EP launch that he put on at the Northcote Social Club. This was such a fun conversation. We laughed about music school, reflected on purpose, creativity, tattoos and sunbreaks, and explored the joys of making music. Since we recorded this conversation, JIM ALXNDR's continued to put out more music. Please go check it out, and I hope you enjoy this conversation. As long as you're like comfy and stuff, then
I'm incredibly comfortable. This
Great.
is a nice space.
I'm glad you like it.
And you were playing D'Angelo on the way in. I love that record. That's like the first. I think that's the first record I ever cried to.
Really?
I cried to. What's the last song? In Another Life.
Oh,
And it's so
wow.
funny because I cried to it because I was like, man, this groove is fucked. It was like there isn't a better feeling groove than In Another Life.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where were you when you were listening to it?
On the Gold Coast. I was driving on the Gold Coast. That's where I'm from.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's where I grew up. It's not where I'm from. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, it's a very peculiar place.
Wow.
Mm.
What a journey. Well, maybe let's just like start with like, you know, who you are and where you come from.
Okay. From the beginning, I am James, also known as JIM ALXNDR, professionally known as JIM ALXNDR. I'm originally from this town in England called Bradford.
Okay.
Do you know of Bradford?
I know not of Bradford.
Not of Bradford. Bradford is like it's in a place called West Yorkshire, which is like the closest like town is Leeds, or the closest like big town is Leeds.
Okay. If I don't know Leeds, like
If you don't know Leeds, Manchester,
how close to London?
3 hours north,
Cool.
I think, by train.
Okay.
It's kind of a shithole. Bradford is like, it's funny because I just came back from London, and whenever I mention this like fun fact to people, they're like, oh. And I'm like, yes, I know it's a shithole, but has great curries.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of like South Asian people there. Just the curries there are out of this world. And I'm also like the worst person to go eat Indian food with because I'm just like, nah, that's not it. I have such a high bar, or just it's not necessarily high bar. I just have such a specific bar. Like if it doesn't taste like what I grew up with, I'm like, nah, it's not it.
Yep. Yeah, I grew up in Bourne North, and there's like, heaps of like Chinese restaurants because a lot of people have immigrated, and so then when we moved out to like the inner north, it's like, oh,
this isn't Chinese food.
Yeah. What is this? We got to either go into the city or back out, or maybe out to Box Hill or something.
It is very peculiar how it's like you can. I don't know if only is the right word, but like you get great Asian food in the city or Box Hill, like this random suburb, like half an hour away.
Exactly. But it makes sense if it's like, all right, there's a big collection of this community. They all like make their food really well.
Yeah, I guess that's how like food hotspots work.
Was there much music in this tiny town?
I was only there till I was 8. I would say I don't have a good grasp on it, but my family was fairly musical, not in the sense that my parents played instruments, but in the sense that like music was encouraged.
Okay.
So we were lucky enough to always have like instruments around the house.
Cool.
And I was talking to my dad about this recently, and I think they did a really good job of making music like a really casual thing. It wasn't like, you're going to get lessons and then you're going to play this recital. We did do all of that, but I think it started as like, play whatever you want. Let's have a jam. Like it was very like conversational, and it was not a big deal. It's like, it wasn't like, wow, James can play an E chord. It was like, cool, let's play together. And
Nice.
I think like in hindsight, like reflecting on how I like grew up with music, I think that was a massive part of it. And the other part that kind of adds to that is we had these family friends, and they had 2 kids who were my siblings' ages, so like much older than me. And we used to go to their house every year and record a song.
Oh.
And like I've only now just realized how very peculiar that is. Like from like age 4, I was like
Wow.
recording music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense now that that's what I'm doing, but and like I think I've always felt like this innate connection to music, but I think it's not like an innate connection. It's just that it was introduced to me like the English language is introduced to a baby.
Mhm.
And like you get to 7 years old and you're not like, whoa, I'm speaking English. You're just speaking.
Yes.
I think that's always kind of been my relationship to it. And I think it's because of that. Like I just grew
Wow.
up playing fucking Enter Sandman with my brothers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's I'm really, really lucky.
So
to
did
have
your
had
parents like have like a casual relationship with instruments? Like they could still play, just not
that.
professionally?
Yeah, my dad can 95% play the solo in Hotel California.
Awesome.
And like I call him Root Note Vincent because he played the bass on a lot of these recordings. It's just straight root notes, baby.
Yep.
Don't need anything else.
Nice.
But my dad is like, I've also only recently realized this. My dad's like an encyclopedia of 70s music. Like, because I'm just starting to get deeply into the 70s. And my parents now live in France, so I visited them 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just like listening to all these records. And every time I was like, who's this? He's like, oh, it's this person. And they're in a band with these people. And it was on this label and blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
holy shit, you know everything. Like he must have, I mean, he did. He grew up just like buying records and obsessing over them. And
Mhm.
he's like a massive music fan. So I think, and the other thing is he's always had really good ears. Like I think me and both my siblings and my dad all share this. Like we both just like, it's like the opposite of tone deafness. Not in the sense that we can sing everything, but like I can't comprehend how someone can hear 2 things that are musically different and go, I think they're the same. Like,
Oh, right.
we've always had, all of us have always just been able to be like, oh, well, that's this. And like some sort of like objectivity about music. And I
Mhm.
guess it kind of links back to what I was saying before, where it's just a language to us. And there are
Yes.
rights. It's like, there's just like some sort of objectivity in it, I guess.
Mm.
So yeah, that's my long answer.
Wow. All right. So then once you turn 8, where do you move to? To Australia?
Yeah, to the Gold Coast. And yeah, that was weird. I definitely didn't appreciate how weird it was at the time, but it like going from like a shithole town in England to like the Gold Coast, like surfer's paradise, very strange.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, we got there, and I don't know if they do this in Melbourne, but like a lot of the schools up there, they have like compulsory music programs in like year 4 and year 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I participated in that, and that's kind of where I started playing sax, which is, I
Okay.
guess I'd still say, well, I wouldn't say it's my main instrument in terms of I play it all the time, but it's the instrument that I am the most technically proficient in.
Okay.
And the instrument that I've probably spent the most time with.
Does it feel the most like your voice, or has that moved on now?
I think now, because I've been producing for a long time, I feel like my voice is pretty clear. I actually think my saxophone is, in some ways, the least my voice because I'm technically proficient. So I've got all this shit under my fingers.
Right.
That like I think, honestly, the worse you are at an instrument, the more your voice comes out. Because you've just got to like use your instinct. You don't have shit that you can play.
Yes.
Yeah,
there's no patterns and muscle memory and all that sort of stuff.
exactly. It's just pure spirit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's refreshing now when I pick up the saxophone. I'm like, oh, I actually know what I'm doing. Like all this time I'm like faffing around on guitars and bass and just like, fuck, what's going on? I like, honestly, I don't know what notes I'm playing all the time. Whereas sax, I'm just like, oh, well, if we're in A flat, we can go here. And it's like, it's entertaining, I guess.
Wow.
But yeah, I just started playing sax when we moved to the Gold Coast. And like, I did a year of compulsory saxophone. Then my mum just kind of like signed me up for lessons. She says that I asked for it, but I don't remember that. And then I just got pulled out of class and they were like, you've got a saxophone lesson. I was like, cool. And then I just did that till I was like 23 or whatever.
Yeah, all the way through like a music degree.
Yeah. I played in... sax was like my main instrument through school. I played keys as well.
Okay.
And I kind of like... I dabbled in everything. Drums were actually my first instrument.
Right.
I got a drum kit when I was 7.
Wow.
And just slammed Dave Weckl.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Island Magic, let's go, baby.
Yes.
But yeah, I played sax all through high school and like did the big band thing and all that kind of stuff. And also, yeah, I've just been... I think the running theme of my childhood is like not in a musical hub, but finds random opportunity to be really musical. Like in the Gold Coast, from the age of 12 till like 17, I played most Saturday nights at a jazz club. It's not even a jazz club. It was like the arts center, and there was a jazz night.
Right.
And there was a group of us. They called us the Apprentices, and like we would just go on a Saturday night. There was like a 3-set jazz gig with this trio of guys called the Harry Lynn Trio, and they'd play every week. And in the second set, the Apprentices would get up for like 2 songs, and then we'd play the last song of the night.
Wow.
And so I did that for like 5 years, and that was incredible because you wouldn't like, you'd get there not knowing what you're going to play. They'd like teach you it backstage, and then you'd just be on stage in front of people. And it was like, it's another one of those experiences where when I look back, at the time it didn't seem so significant, but I look back and I'm like, whoa, like that's fucking crazy to say to a 12-year-old, yo, just get up on stage, play a solo and like play the head. Here's how it goes. But I mean, I say it's crazy, but like that's kind of what music is. But I guess it's a unique experience. Like a lot of people learn that by like, you know, rinsing Now's the Time in their real book, and then like they really know the head and they've like planned what they're going to play in their solo. It's like I never really got an opportunity to do that, and I was really lucky.
Yeah, what a privilege to have that. Just like you're just thrown straight into playing.
Yeah, and it was really nice. There was like there's 4 of us. There was like 5 of us, and I was the youngest, but we were all like similar age, and we all just kind of grew up musically together in the Gold Coast, which is not known for its like musical integrity.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking about it before you came, and I was like, I don't think I know very much about the Gold Coast. Like,
what do you want to know?
I don't know if I want to know anything.
Yeah, fair enough. Good chat.
I guess I should want to know stuff, but
no,
like,
it is it's a beautiful place. Like geographically, you got the beach, then you drive an hour and you're in the mountains, and like it's like so beautiful.
Did you appreciate that whilst you were living there?
Definitely not whilst I was living there. No, I was like, yeah. I mean, I think it's that thing of like, what is it like? Youth is wasted on the young. It's kind of a similar idea.
Yeah.
Like, when you, from the age of 8, have the best beaches in the world at your front door. Like I literally lived across the road from the beach most of my life.
Wow.
You can just fucking saunter over for a swim after school. Now that I've traveled a bit and like have been to beaches and been like, oh, they think this is a beach? Like St Kilda, not a beach. Like, yeah, so I definitely took it for granted growing up. But now I think, because also when you're in high school, this isn't everyone's experiences. This isn't everyone's experience, but all I want to do is like hang out with my friends and like have a girlfriend and like be cool. I don't want to like look at trees and like watch the waves. Like, and like the Gold Coast is like, I always put it as like, it's a small town trying to be a big city. Like it's got big city energy, but it's got like not many people. So you know everyone. Like it's very like incestuous and like everyone knows everyone. And like I recently went to a friend's wedding who was from my high school, and like and it was my partner's first time meeting a lot of people. It was my first time seeing a lot of my high school friends in 10 years, and I was like giving her the tea on the way, and I was like, well, this person dated this person, but then they dated this person, and she was like, whoa, this is weird. So yeah, it's a small
not
place.
Enough people, so they've all sort of yeah. So why did you come to Melbourne? Like end of Gold Coast era.
End of Gold Coast era. it's interesting because I don't think I was one of those kids that was like contrary to like everything I've been saying, I wasn't like music is my life. Like I wasn't at that point. I wasn't really listening to records. I was like, I think my main mode of engaging with music was creation and playing it. So I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna be a record producer and I'm gonna like do music for the rest of my life. It just was one of those decisions that just kind of happened in my memory, at least. Like it was like, well, I guess I'll go study music, and then I just auditioned for the VCA and got in. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just do that. And I was lucky to have supportive parents who were like, yeah, go do what you love. And the alternative was being a personal trainer.
Okay.
Which was a crazy thing to think about. But yeah, when I was in high school, I was super into the gym.
Yeah, right.
And so it was like, if I didn't get into the VCA, I'd go train people to make muscles.
I guess it's like lots of similarity to training music, training in the gym, like, you know, discipline and...
I guess so, but yes and no. I think, yeah, when you're training to be an instrumentalist, it's like there is like a grind mentality to it but I debate whether that's necessary or not. I'm not sure.
So why the VCA and not like, you know, I assume
like
Brisbane,
Monash or Brisbane?
Well, yeah, like Brisbane's got a thing, Sydney's got a school, there's Whopper. Like you could have gone to any of the...
Could have. I don't know. Like, again, I think most of it was like me and my friend Max, we both moved down from the Gold Coast. And we had two friends, Ben and Ollie, who were in the grade above us, and we all had a band throughout high school. So they came here a year before us.
Yeah, right.
And so I think it was honestly like, they were like, VCA is cool. I was like, yeah, cool. VCA is cool. I'll go there.
Nice.
It was really not a considered choice. It was just like, my friends are there. Melbourne seems cool. Whatever. Let's go. And I think like that kind of, because for some people moving to Melbourne at 17 is like a massive thing. And I think just because I had this childhood where, you know, I was like in Bradford till I was 8, we moved house a bunch, and then we moved here, and like just a lot of moving around. The idea of change is not really that massive to me. And I guess that's like exemplified by like, you know, going to VCA and then going to Berklee and then moving to LA and moving all around. And it's like, it doesn't seem like a big deal to me, which I'm lucky. There are downsides to that kind of thinking as well, but I think mostly I'm pretty lucky that it doesn't seem to affect me too much.
That's great. Yeah. I guess it means it's like, you know, you don't have the barriers of like, oh, that is a big deal, and like the apprehension that lots of people might have about that. Or
yeah, I guess the downsides are like, you don't think anything's a big deal, and you don't celebrate your life, and you struggle to make connections because you're always leaving, and this is my trauma.
Yes.
But yeah, it is, I think, on the most part, for being a music producer who travels a lot, it's a very convenient way to be.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, if we can continue the like chronology of the musical journey.
Yes.
You finish your like jazz degree at the VCA. What happens next? Why do you go to Berklee?
Yeah, this is also like just a random choice. Like I was literally, I forgot. I must have been second year at VCA. Or maybe it was third year. I think it all happened pretty quickly, actually. I think it was third year. I was like doing an assignment and like procrastinating. And I just saw an advert for Berklee. I was like, oh, cool. Let's see what that's about. And it was like auditions in 2 weeks in Sydney. I was like, oh, fuck it. And then I just went. And then I just got in and I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to Berklee next year. So it was honestly like...
Wow.
Yeah, it was really... fucking random.
So did you finish at the VCA or just the first 2 years and then you went to Berklee?
No, I finished the VCA, so it must have been third year. And yeah, I feel kind of bad because it's like a lot of people are like, their whole lives are like, I'm gonna go to Berklee, and then they like think about it a lot. I just kind of like saw an advert and went.
That's hilarious.
And yeah, it was super lucky. I also, I should foreshadow this by like, I think when I was in year 10, my dad was like, and I'm in this really privileged position of like my dad being like, if you get into Juilliard or Berklee or like a prestigious music school, I'm happy to support you and like help pay for it.
Okay.
So I think that must have been in my subconscious at that point, and I was like, Berklee, oh, better try and cash in on that, and then I went.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, it was really another massive life decision that I put fuck all consideration into.
So was that like a saxophone audition again?
Yeah, that was sax. So for VCA, I auditioned on sax and keys. And then in my keys audition, Rob Vinks, the head of... He wasn't the head at that time, but he was the head when I was there, I think. I don't remember. But anyway, Rob Vinks is the guy who asked me. He was like, would you prefer to be on sax or keys? And I freaked out because I was in my keys audition. I was like, oh, I better make a good impression. I'll play keys. Sounds good. And then I got the offer for keys and not for sax. And I was like, oh, fuck. Do I want to think about two clefs for 3 years and like coordination? No, I will simply be playing a monophonic instrument. Thank you very much. So I called them and was like, can I not be in on keys? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So I auditioned for both for VCA, but then Berklee was just trying to be a jazz shred lord.
Yes.
That was what I wanted to do at that point in time.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like practicing 6 hours a day, really just like playing a lot of sax, which is cool. There's a lot about that I miss. Like there's a lot of like, I don't know, being a producer, there's like 15 billion things happening at the same time. Whereas like when you're just practicing arpeggios, you're just practicing arpeggios. And there's something nice about that.
The simplicity of here's my task and it's the only thing that matters, I guess.
Yeah. Cause jazz training is so funny. Like I've been reflecting on it since I've kind of left it. And it's like, it's almost like being in the army. Like you're preparing yourself for every harmonic and rhythmic situation ever. Like that's kind of your goal. And I find that such an interesting way to practice. And that's just kind of my take on it. Other people might think differently about it, but that's what I was trying to do. And I think that kind of strips so much individuality from the player. Like I think practice, if I were to have my time again, I mean, maybe I'm just taking like the technical facility I got out of that for granted, but I would just kind of play shit I liked. And like for the most part, there was an aspect of that I did do. Like I never really did the like Coltrane thing or like the classic jazz sax thing of like, fuck, I love this Charlie Parker recording, I'm going to transcribe it. Like I just played along to like Slum Village and like transcribe piano solos.
Okay.
And just like fanboyed Ben Wendell.
Right.
That was kind of my sax vibe.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Which I think was really good because I sounded different to other people because of that. But also like I was fucking useless in the jazz hang. Like if anyone called a standard that's slightly like not known, I was like, nah, let's just play blues. Which is, I think, I don't know. I'm maybe you've had this experience. It's like, I feel like knowledge of standards is kind of currency in the jazz scene.
It definitely is, yeah.
And I just felt like a failure sometimes for not knowing this obscure monk tune.
Yes. I think I could get away with it when I was like doing the thing at uni because it's like, all right, well, I don't know the tune, but they go, yeah, you're just playing the drums. It's 32 bars, you know, like, all right. So I've played countless tunes that I don't know.
Yeah.
Because of like, all right, it's a mid-tempo swing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Really. Here we go, and then it just happens.
It really sucks when you have to know the melody.
Yeah.
It really fucking sucks.
Melody and changes, I guess.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, changes are fun. I feel like for me as well. Like I mean, I guess this is speaking to the difference between me and other sax players. It's kind of like, I listen to a lot of other sax players and, you know, they come through the bebop thing and they're outlining all the changes. Mm-hmm. I've kind of always thought of changes, and maybe everyone else does this, I'm not sure, but I've always thought of them as they're just key centers. Like, if you've got a 2-5 in A, that's just 4 bars of A. Don't worry about, fuck the changes. I don't know. That's always kind of worked for me. And like,
yeah, right.
I think sometimes I learn the changes, but generally I learn like an abridged version of the changes of like, there's a bit in this key and then just go to this key and then just go to this key. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, I sound not like a bebop player, and sometimes you want to sound like that, and sometimes that's fucking awesome. And it's, you know, as a sax player, it's good to know how to do both. And I really just like learnt one thing. But yeah, I don't know. Changes never felt too hectic to me. Mm-hmm. I kind of just take, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'd boil it down to as little information as possible, and that's how I get through. So if I didn't know a tune, if I could kind of hear hear what it's doing broadly, I'd be fine. But yeah, the melody is where I get stumped, because if you don't know the melody, you can't just make it up.
So what was the moment that like ended your shred lord era of single focused saxophone?
I think it was a lot of moments that kind of led to kind of stopping playing saxophone. I think I slowly, whilst I was at Berklee, realized, like, what am I trying to say? I think going to Berklee made, like, contextualized the VCA for me, because when I was at VCA, I wanted to be a shredlord, and I was frustrated that VCA was not preparing me to be a shredlord at all. Like,
right.
And like, I think this is kind of commonly known. Like, well, I don't know if it's commonly known actually, but VCA, at least when I went, was like the classes were somewhat wacky, and there wasn't a massive. It wasn't like Whiplash. Like, they weren't like, you need to be able to play everything really fast and good and accurate, whatever. It was kind of like literally one of our assessments with Andrew Keller was, there was a picture of the horse at the front of the class, and it was like, play that for 10 minutes. And it's like, at the time I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to play a horse. I want to play changes. But I don't know, over time I've realized that, like, actually that's music, playing a horse. Like, that's kind of like, that prepared me so well for Berklee, because I think Berklee in a lot of ways is the opposite. It's like, and I'm doing a big loop to your actual question. But something I observed at Berklee was a lot of people who had a massive vocabulary who just said random words all the time. I'm speaking in metaphors now. Yeah, everyone, like, there were so many shredders who just like played things that were emotionally irrelevant to what was going on. And that just quickly became clear to me that, like, whilst VCA, I think, doesn't necessarily prepare you for a career in music or like to make a living, I think it really, really prepares you for a creative life, like amazingly well, because it shows you this like kind of wacky side of music, which it kind of presents itself as like being very open, but it is actually like it's open in the sense that like there's weird stuff going on, but it's like this similar kind of weird stuff. Anyway, it opens you up to music that isn't strictly harmony and rhythm. Like, I think it opens you up to texture and emotion and concepts and ideas, and I think those things are what I am like, what are at the front of my mind now producing records. Like, I'm seeing it come full circle, where I'm like recording a pop song and I'm being like, play the horse, like, you got to play the horse. So I think it was like being exposed to that, and then going to Berklee and being like, oh, like this is like supposed to be one of the like most prestigious institutions in the world, and like all these people kind of like, not everyone obviously, but a lot of people are just playing like to impress people. And then I was like, wait, am I playing to impress people? And I was like, yeah, I fucking am. I'm playing in 13/8 with Jesus Molina. Like, I don't know. That wasn't particularly like emotionally moving for me. And then the other component that kind of changed my direction was I kind of just sat down and did the maths and was like, okay, I could keep shredding saxophone, and like, I guess like in terms of finances, the best thing that could happen is like I play like some great jazz gigs, or I get on a pop tour playing sax. I can do that till I'm like 40, 45. Then I have to figure out what to do. Whereas if I make records, the ceiling's a lot higher, and you can do that till you're 80. So I like, that was honestly part of it, was like, yeah, I can do this for longer and I can make more money. Not that it's all about making money, but that was definitely a factor. And I think I was always interested in being in control, and especially being a sax player, you're in so many bands where you're like, wow, this isn't sitting and I can't do anything about it. Like, I'm just here to rock up, play a solo, leave. And it's like, I want to be like making this feel good. And the way I can do that is by being on my laptop, making everything. So I think it's like part of my control freakiness was also like, I want to make records.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, I am lucky enough to, my mentor now, who was my publisher for the last 3 years, was this guy called James Flanagan, and he was my sister's best friend in high school. So I kind of reached out to him. I remember the Facebook message I sent him, because he's a record producer. I remember I sent him a Facebook message whilst I was at Berklee. I was like, hey, what does a producer do? And then I was doing a trip out to LA with Berklee, and I was like, hey, can we meet up? And then we met up, and I was like, oh, cool, this is what a producer does. And then I think it must have been like pretty soon after that, I dropped out of Berklee and just moved to LA and worked with him.
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of like the transition.
Wow.
From sax to producing. And it took honestly, it took about 3 years of like constantly being like, what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I made the decision, it all just kind of opened up and became very clear, which was, I'm stoked.
Wow.
It was a good decision.
So was that relationship like, traditional like mentor and apprentice type when you moved to LA?
Yeah, I guess so. I think a lot of people in the record industry, like mixers and producers, a lot of people have mentors, and I think mentors are really, really, really important. Like, and they're hard to come by. Like like I said, I'm really lucky that like that was a family friend, and I lucked out in the fact that he's a fucking great producer and he had work for me. And also lucked out in the sense that I was quite useful to him because I had all this musical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of record producers, which I don't think is a bad thing, but a lot of record producers don't have super big musical knowledge because, you've grown up with a laptop and you're engaging in music in terms of sound, not chords and technical shit. Not saying that James is, he is technically apt and he played violin growing up and he's does more than enough musically as a producer, but it's funny saying like quote unquote musically. It's like it's all music. Doesn't matter whether you know what's going on or not. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I was lucky that I was also quite useful to him at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, what a journey! Like
big, yeah. We've done from start to finish.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
No worries.
Yeah, because it's really interesting listening to the music, like especially like your original music now. There's so much going on, like textures and layers and developments and musical language, and it's really like, I don't know, it's really interesting music to me. And yeah, it's nice like going, all right, well, like what's the context that sort of like led to this? And it's like, all right, well, you've had this like really interesting like influence of your dad and his like music knowledge, and then the like relaxed but also intense nature of like your music study at different times. Like, all right, it's cool to just jam and we're going to record, and then like, all right, now you got to like work really hard and study like crazy. Yeah. And then the VCA is like, play a horse, and then you go to Berklee. Like you've got like, it's like this sort of like back and forth of like creativity and like intense study. And
yeah, totally. And I think that kind of speaks to my relationship with music now. Like most of the time it's play, but like I'm really lucky that I spent 6 hours in a practice room a day for a year. 'Cause like if there's something that I can't do musically, I know how to like do it. Like I think that became really evident when I started singing, and like COVID started, I was like, and I've always since I was like 15, I was like, I really want to sing. I've never had the confidence to do it. And then COVID started and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to write some songs and I'm going to sing them. And I was like, I could sense that like my instrument couldn't keep up, my instrument being my voice, couldn't keep up with my brain. I was like, fuck it, I'll get some singing lessons and I'll practice. And like that helps so much. Like it just helps to not be like, oh, well, I'm just bad. It's like, I know how to train on an instrument and I know that no one's just bad. You just got to like, sometimes you just got to put some hours in. And even like in small ways, like in London recently, I was making a record with this artist and I knew that I'd probably be tracking drums on it. So I went in the day before and like put a really slow metronome on and like just got used to the feel of playing drums again. And it was like shit like that helps so much, because I see record producers who aren't instrumentalists just getting really frustrated and just being like, fuck, I can't do this. And I think in the end they just save time because they play it and then they like move it around in the box, whereas I'm like really like, fuck, I need to get it right. And I end up just losing time. But I guess it's nice to just know how to learn an instrument.
Yeah, I guess it's like it gives you the freedom to go, all right, well, I know how to get the skills up. I got to practice this, learn this bit, and just put in the time, and then I'll be able to get there.
Yes, exactly. I guess it's like I have the tools to encourage self-belief, which I think honestly is like, that's the biggest thing about living, at least in my opinion, about like living a creative life and being able to do it for a long time, is like you have to believe in yourself pretty hard. And like, especially if you're going to be an artist, it's like you're not going to get validation or money for a long time. So you better just believe that you're great. And I think Australia is wonderful in a lot of ways, but I think Australia is really fucking bad at this. Like tall poppy syndrome, et cetera, et cetera. We're a very humble culture, and like humility is praised and arrogance is scorned. And I think to be an artist, you have to, like, there's a level of arrogance. I don't know if arrogance is the right word, but there's a level of extreme confidence that you need. And I think that's one of the biggest things I got from being in America, was like, oh, it's acceptable to be like, I made this song and I think it's good.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. So culturally different.
It's incredibly, it's fucking crazy to hear some of the shit Americans say.
Yeah.
When I was first there, I was like, wait, you can say that?
Yeah.
And no one's going to be like, wow, what an asshole. And now, like, I feel it the other way. Like, I feel Australian reactions to things. I'm like, whoa, you need to chill the fuck out. Like, this guy just thinks he's great. What's wrong with that? Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really helped with, like my level of confidence, which I think, especially with something like singing really exposes that, because you have nothing to hide behind. If you don't believe what you're singing, and if you don't believe it sounds good, it's never going to sound good. And I think that my ability to learn an instrument was like a crutch on my lack of confidence, because training my voice to just do the things in my head, I'd hear the thing and be like, oh, it's good, and it would boost my confidence, rather than like, I think a lot of people who just sing from a young age just believe they're great, and then they sound great as a result. But like, unfortunately, I had a more intelligent musical mind, and I was like, that was flat. You suck. But yeah, now that I'm a lot more confident in my voice, I can just hear it. Like, I can hear myself, like, everything relaxing, and the result coming out is just so much better. So yeah, confidence is like I think it's like the most important musical attribute.
Yeah, that's such an interesting insight, and I'm glad that, like, you know, you were able to like take it on in such a positive way from your time like studying and working in the US.
Yeah, me too.
Why come back and, you know, sort of base yourself here? I know you still do travel and stuff, but you know, you've come back from a time in London, and do you think like you'll stay here in Melbourne?
Yeah, mostly. I think the answer to this is there's a lot of things at play. Basically, I went to LA after I left Berklee. I could legally only be there for 6 months because of visa stuff. So whilst I was there, I started trying to get the artist visa.
Yes.
Started that process. Then came back here and waited for that to kind of go through. It ended up, I feel like I got a really shitty lawyer because it ended up being, honestly, it was like the most stressful 6 months of my life. It was just like, basically we submitted the application, they asked for more evidence, and my lawyer said it's probably better to withdraw than like submit more evidence and then be denied. Oh. So that happened, and I was like disappointed. But then in hindsight, like shortly after that, COVID happened. So if that had gone through, I would have. And all of this time, I'm in a long distance relationship with my partner, who I'm still with. if that happened, if I got my visa, I would have moved to LA right at the start of COVID, just been there, and not be able to come home. It would have been like a very strange experience.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it worked out the way it did. Like, maybe my career would be in a different place, but I don't think as a person I'm pretty happy with like who I am and where I've landed, and I don't think it would have been the same if I'd gotten that visa. And then it's kind of just like COVID happened, so that I wasn't trying to move countries at that point. And then I just traveled. I did a trip 2 years ago to just be in LA for a bit working. And I think that, at least for me right now, like, what's important to me is being in the same place as my partner. And I think I feel pretty secure in that. Like, I can travel for a bit, and we've done a lot of long distance, so I'm able to, and I'm really lucky that we've done all of that. But Melbourne's a fucking awesome place to live. Like, the Merry Creek fucking rocks, and there's amazing falafel, and like all of the systems make sense to me, and I have a car, and my partner just bought a house, so like I have a stable place to live. And so I think for the next 5 years it's going to be like based in Melbourne, kind of doing 2 months here, 2 months there. And because, like I said before, I'm okay with traveling, and I'm okay with like living somewhere for a couple of months at a time, that kind of works for me. As long as it works financially. Like, it's definitely really expensive. But if I can make that work, then I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to ask about your gig, because that's where we met.
Sick.
I saw you do your EP launch live at, where was it? The Northcote Social Club.
Northcote Social Club. I'm glad you saw that. That was cool.
It was an awesome gig.
Yeah, thanks.
I really liked like your band and the tracks and your songwriting, and yeah, it was just really interesting. And, I wanted to sort of like ask, like, what was it like doing the band thing, and do you want to do more of it?
It was good. I mean, I think, that band was like some of my favorite musicians, and I think that's the thing in choosing a band. I think that was a good experience in like choosing a band of people whose voices I liked, not their physical voices, but like their musical spirit, rather than like the most not that Dave isn't the most in the pocket drummer, but like choosing people based on like the choices they make rather than the technical ability they have. And I think all of the people in that band make incredible decisions. And I think I could be better as a band leader. I think in those situations, I tend to be a little bit controlling and a little bit like, I kind of wanted to go in being like, you guys just do you. And I found as we'd go through rehearsals, I'd be like, oh, but can you play this thing that's on the record? And like, I don't love that that's what happened. But that's kind of where my heart led. It's hard when you make an entire record by yourself. Like those parts are the songs to you, and I wanted them to be reimagined, and I think that's possible. I just need to have a more open mind and a bit more time, and I think I didn't have enough of that. But to answer your question, I did like playing with the band. I have to say though, I prefer playing with less people. I think because more people just requires more of a musical relationship to be built, and I felt like that show was great because it showcased the songs. But like, I want to play music where it's like there's shit happening that doesn't happen on the record, and there's like improvisation involved, and where we're kind of feeding off each other. And so I'm more interested in doing that in the future. And I think, but that being said, it was a fucking great experience, and it was like, it was really nice to be like in the front of a band. Like, I've kind of sat everywhere else in the band.
Yes. Except
for playing guitar and singing. So it was kind of surreal to do that. Like on a stage singing my songs. Yeah. But yeah, my experience of doing gigs is like, I don't think I have that thing that like a lot of artists have where they're like, oh, I'm doing it all for the show. Like, my experience of doing a gig, I think because I've played so many gigs in my life, is like when I'm singing my songs, the start of the night is just not talking to anyone, not interacting with anyone because I'm saving my voice. And then I do the show and it's awesome. And then after the show, I get to hang out with people, but I'm fucked because I've just like spent all this emotional energy. Like I do better when it's like a solo show and I can just like kind of chill and there's a bit less pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I think my brain doesn't feel the pressure too bad, but my body, I'm still not used to that.
Yes.
But I do want to do more shows. I just think I only really want to do a show if there's a compelling musical reason to. Like if it's like, oh, I can get these people to be in my band and that'll be really fun. Rather than like, I don't know, just doing a album release show and I just play the songs. I don't know. That is like less exciting to me.
Yeah, sure.
And I think over the last couple of years, I've let go of the artist thing a bit more. Like I realized that the thing I like about being an artist is making the record. I don't have to play shows or post on TikTok or anything to do that. Like I can just do, I'm lucky that I don't have to pay anyone to do that. I can just make the records. So I'm kind of taking this new approach to my artist thing, I guess my artist project, where I'm just engaging with it in a way that I see as sustainable. And unfortunately for me, I'm not built to post on social media all the time and I'm not very good at that. And I find it to be a bit too much of an emotional burden to make it a sustainable thing. And hopefully at some point in my life that changes because I do understand the importance of that. But I think I want to live a life that I enjoy mostly. And because as well, like if I was dying to play in front of 20,000 people, I'd probably be willing to sacrifice more, but I'm not. Like, I'm not dying to have 10 million billion streams it'd be amazing. Like, I can't imagine the feeling of like playing to 5,000 people and they're singing your songs back at you. That's fucking incredible. But I just think about everything else apart from that about touring. And I'm just like, I don't think I'd like that. Like sleeping on a bus, playing a show, again, like I said, not talking to anyone because I'm saving my voice, and then doing a show and then like not hanging with anyone after the show because, I've got a show tomorrow night. Like, I don't know. That experience doesn't appeal to me. Sitting in the studio and making other people's records and like ushering them through that process and supporting them through that process, that makes my brain go and my heart sing. So like I'm kind of more interested in that now.
Yeah. That's so great to hear, like, your perspective on that, James. Like,
thanks.
Because it's like a lot of people do have that, like, like it's all for the gig. And you get so much, like, joy and fulfillment from the music making. It's so great that you've, like, got that knowledge and, like, deliberate intention to act on it rather than, like, well, I've got to do the gigs because of, like, X, Y, and Z, or I'm just going to force myself to get on TikTok every day. Like, you can go, actually, no, here's a sustainable way that I can do what I like.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens later, but like...
Exactly.
It's good balance, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I am aware that like this could just be like me severely, like this could be me really intelligently finding a way out of like realizing my full artistic potential. Because like obviously like if I was offered a stadium gig, I'd probably be like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is the pinnacle of my life. But yeah, I think that might not be it. I think it's just I know what I want and I feel okay in doing that.
Yeah. Well, and like, you don't have a billion streams, but like, the tune you did with Angie McMahon's got like, over 500,000.
Yeah, I guess.
My favorite tracks is In the Light, and it's got a good like 5,000 streams.
You've been looking at my stats.
Well, like, I should like check in just before we have the chat because I was like, you should find out. I was like, yes, I don't like his most played song, which is normally what happens. And I'm like, oh, I like the lame one.
Yeah. No, I mean, the most played isn't necessarily the lame one. It's the most played for a reason.
No, most played is normally awesome.
But I mean,
and your tune with Angie's great.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I mean, I think I was lucky that I had an experience early on in my music making career, I guess, my producing career, where I made a bunch of lo-fi beats and they streamed really well. And I was like, I literally fucking like farted these out, and I didn't put much thought and effort into it. And the music that I'm like putting my entire heart and soul into is getting like 100 streams. And it just kind of broke this myth that streams equals good, or streams equals like I care about it. And so from kind of then on, and I can't pretend that I'm immune to like, you know, I would love my songs to have these big numbers next to them. And it's, yeah, of course it's validating, but it's, I've been able to like blunt that knife that a lot of people feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part of it, honestly, is using Tidal instead of Spotify because there's no numbers.
Right.
And that's like what that does to me psychologically is I get to like objectively, or not objectively, but like have a less colored opinion on music.
Yes.
Because I listen to a song and I don't know how popular it is. And like I had this experience a couple of years ago where I hadn't been on Spotify for a while, and I went on and it was fucking weird seeing the numbers. I was like, whoa, this is odd. Like I don't want to know that this song has had 20, like when you look at a record and one song is like significantly higher than all the rest, that's coloring your idea of the music. And like, I don't really, that's not how I want to engage with music. Yeah. And it was great. It was cool. Like it made me feel cool because like the shit I'd been listening to, I like looked on Spotify and it had like fuck all monthly listeners, and I was like, yeah, I know underground music.
Yeah, I think that's the music school thing in us, right? Like, yeah.
Do you reckon that's a music school thing? Like,
yeah,
like
totally.
Yearning for individuality and like.
Yeah, I know the track that nobody else knows, but it's the best one.
True.
And it's because I've spent the time going through this guy's discography and like, yeah.
That's actually really good perspective. I totally identify with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like the single. I like, have you heard this alt recording from like 1956?
Yeah.
With
I've got the alternate take that was pressed in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, that's so it. I never drew the parallel between music school and my feeling of that. But it's so it. You bang on, Luke.
Sometimes.
Thanks. Like, how do I sign up for therapy with you?
Just come back on the podcast.
There should be music school therapy. There's so many like specific things that you get from music school.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's not whiplash, but there's bits of whiplash.
Yeah. It's like internal whiplash in a way.
Yeah.
Like that, who's that bald guy? What's his name? The actor?
Oh, yeah. What is his name? I don't know, but he does an awesome job.
He does an awesome job, but there's inside of all of us music school kids, there's one of him just inside us.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, that's not the tempo. After like 3 counts, being like, that's not the tempo. It's like, yeah, brother, you don't know.
All right, we've been playing this game on the podcast.
Hell yeah, I like games.
Get each guest to ask a question of the next guest.
Okay.
You sort of touched on this question from Michaela, but it'll be interesting to hear what you say. So, yeah, the last episode was Michaela Jade, who's an amazing singer.
Cool.
What is your post-gig process in terms of how you debrief with others, if you need to debrief with others? Like, do you focus on things that you loved about the gig or your performance, or things that were maybe negative, because that's something that I do, unfortunately, or even in terms of how you process it for yourself, and how do you use that for your next performance or to inform your upcoming performances?
This is a great question. Thank you, Michaela. But I say it's a great question. Obviously, it is a great question, but it's also a question I've never been asked and something I've never thought about.
Oh, right.
I think maybe it comes back to like I've done so many gigs that it's like, what the hell is my post-gig like routine or what do I do after a gig? I do. If it has been filmed, I will always watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, I don't think about it. I'm not like, all right, now I'm going to go watch the gig and like make notes or whatever. I just do that. Like, and maybe all of us do. I don't know.
And you make notes?
No, I don't make notes.
Okay.
No, but it's funny. I have this experience sometimes where I'll watch a video of like me playing maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'll be like, oh, I know this solo. Like, I know every note of this. Huh. And I'm like, fuck, I must have rinsed this. So I do that. I must do that. Not must as in I incessantly need to, but like through evidence, I think I do that.
Yes.
I don't know if I like debrief with anyone about it. I think I'm very into like a musical moment being a musical moment, and like I guess I'm not currently striving for like I'm not currently sorry I'm gonna start this answer again. I'm not currently striving for performance excellence in my life. Like I'm kind of more about, am I present and am I what I like to call plugged in, which is like, am I just being a channel right now for the music, or am I like inserting myself? And I think that's honestly, that's kind of my judgment on whether a gig was good or bad. Was I plugged in or not? And it's funny. It's like for me, it's very clear. And I talk about this with my partner, actually. She can tell when I'm plugged in and when I'm not. My first ever gig as Jim Alexander, playing my like written my songs and singing I played at the retreat on like a Sunday afternoon. I was so plugged in. It was that still, I reckon, was my best performance, because I just like surrendered and like let it happen. And there's something about when you do that, like there's an emotional connection that is so palpable to the audience. And I guess because my partner knows me so well, she can tell. Whereas like that Northcote Social gig, not as plugged in, because I was fucking stressed about everything. So that is I guess one kind of post-review point that I usually go through. Was I present? Was I plugged in or not? And then I just kind of move on. Like I think, yeah, they don't have a massive imprint in my memory a lot of the time. It's different when I'm playing with other people. I guess I kind of debrief with them about like what went well, what didn't. Like I played for my friend San Joseph. I played bass for him, and after his last gig, this has never happened to me before, and this is like I reckon this is the biggest musical fuck up of my entire life. I played his song called Tom Cruise, which is like really bass synth centric. Like there's a bass synth riff that is the whole song, and I remember distinctly like getting to the bridge of the song, which is like 3/4 of the way through the song, and just being like, because there's a key change in this song, just being like, what key are we in? Oh. And then like realizing, I've been playing in I've been playing in the key change key, and then I don't know what happened. My brain left my body for that song, but like I played the whole thing, like even past the key change, in the wrong key. It was fucked. And like when I thought about like the notes I played in the bridge, I was like, I just made that up. Those are not harmonically relevant to any of the chords. So in that instance, it's like I'll be like, hey Joey, I'm sorry, you should fire me. I did a really bad job of this one moment. So we do that kind of post-match review, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
Yeah, I guess, does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Do you have any like kind of ritual pre or post, like a production collab? Like if you know someone's coming around for a session, do you have like I like to set up the studio like this, or make a cup of tea, or?
I like to make sure the studio's feeling nice. But I actively, and maybe this is bad, but if they've sent me anything to listen to, if their label sent me anything to listen to, if they have any kind of audio reference, I don't listen to it. I don't want to know anything about that. Because I don't know. I spent a long time doing music for adverts where the brief is like, here's a song, plagiarize it, but don't plagiarize it. Yep. It's like, I feel like I'm really, really good at that, and I'm really, really quick at it. And I don't want to be swayed by the music that you think you want to make today. I want to like talk to you and let's find something we both are interested in. So yeah, I try and just keep as blank a canvas as possible before a session. And that being said, like I really enjoy non-musical references. If they're like, man, I want to make something that sounds like a horse, I'm like, fuck yeah, because I think two people's idea of something is much more interesting than something, like if they're like, I want it to sound like I don't know, Kiss by Prince. My memory of Kiss is what I want to go off, not listening to Kiss and being like, okay, well, it's this and it's this and it's this.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I guess if you count that as a ritual, like not filling my mind with anything to do with the session before the session starts.
Yeah.
And then post session, I like to not work on music
Mm-hmm.
and just like live a little bit and like, I don't know. And throughout a session, I'm very big on breaks, very big on a sunshine break. And it's funny, like I had this experience when I was in England. I went to Bath to write Bath, the town, not a bath, not to bathe, to write for Charlie, an Australian artist, with this guy Ed Graves, who runs Rainbow Wood Studios. Fucking beautiful studio. It's like a manor house. Like,
Wow.
like honestly, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. There's like essentially botanical gardens on site. Like
Whoa.
it's like fucking Bridgerton was filmed in Bath.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah, okay.
and we're like fucking pounding it, trying to get this like chorus lyric. And I'm like, guys, do you want to like go for a walk? And Ed was like, everyone was like, yeah, let's go for a stroll. And we were strolling through this beautiful veggie garden, and Ed was like, wow, I never do this. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, what the hell? If I was having sessions here, Ed isn't an idiot. If I was having sessions here every week, we'd write in the garden. Like, I don't want to like sit in a studio and I don't know. I feel like when you're trying to get a lyric and you're slaving away at it for more than like 20 minutes, like have a break. And it's probably going to come to you whilst you're like making a cup of tea. I really believe in like, if you're struggling too hard for it, like take some time away. And you haven't failed, because you like, that's not you failing. That's you like enhancing your chances of getting the thing, because you've backed yourself into a corner, and walking into the wall some more is not going to get you out. So yeah, I think taking breaks is like very ritualistic for me in sessions, for sure.
That's very sage advice.
Oh, thanks. I guess I don't know if that's a compliment, but I guess it is a compliment. Being sage is like quite positive. But yeah, I don't know. I think honestly it's kind of just like what I want to do too. Like it's a bit selfish, but I'm like, I want to go out. I can't be fucked with this chorus right now. I want to go outside.
I guess like it's a bit of that mindset of like, you know, the grind, and like, all right, we just got to like sit down and no one leaves the studio until we get the right take or something.
Yeah.
And there's so much of that, but like often maybe it was just the first or second take that was the great one. Or we all come back in after a break. Oh, now we're not as stressed, or we're calm. We had that moment of inspiration. We were like, actually, why don't we just change up a little bit? All right, we'll come and try that, and it worked.
Exactly. But sometimes I do think the grind is the right move. I think like now what I'm learning is like when to like push, and when, you know, kind of judging when that's the right move. Like I think being a producer is such a fucking interesting job, because it's like, honestly, it's 20% about music. It's like 80% about people, and like understanding who, like whether the person you're with responds well to being pushed, or whether they need to do 2 takes and then go and like smoke a joint, or whether they need to do 13 takes and comp it all themselves and, you know, record 3 vocals on a song. It's your job to like understand what they need and be able to facilitate it for them, so they get to the end and they feel like, oh, we tried everything and this is the best version of the song it could be. And that's different with every single artist. And I think just going in with a blank mind and like being open-minded and just being there to listen, and presenting them with like, let's take a break. That's an option. We can do that, or we can stay in here, but I'd prefer not to. And it's like balancing, like serving them and also making sure you're working as well as you can.
Yep.
And that takes up so much more of my like mental space than how good does this kick sound? Or like, I wonder when we should put the open hi-hat in the bar. Like that shit actually doesn't fucking matter. It's like, make sure the artist is having a good time, make sure they feel comfortable, write a good song, and then like worry about the hi-hats and whatever. And like do that in your own time. Don't do that with the artist sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what would you like to ask our next guest?
What would I like to ask your next guest? Okay. Geez, for an improviser, I'm doing a shit job. What do I want to know about your potential next guest? It probably ruins it if I know who they are, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't tell me who they are.
I won't.
Great, thanks. Me stalling.
Until It's okay. I won't cut it out.
Okay, I've got one. What musical experience changed things for you? That's it.
Great question.
Yeah, it's the open-endedness of it.
Yeah. I would love to indulge and keep asking you questions, but we've been like going for over an hour now.
Hell yeah.
So thank you so much for like
Thanks for having me.
diving into all of this.
God, it's been an hour already.
I know.
Jeez, what a time.
We wrap up with like 5 quick answer questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I sneak in one more question though before we finish?
Have as many as you'd like.
Are you happy to tell me about Long Game?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm happy to tell you about Long Game. I got this tattoo like 4 days ago.
I saw you, it was like a post or a story or something came
Yeah.
up and I was like, oh, cool.
Fuck yeah.
I'd love to know about this.
Well, yes, okay. I think this idea came to me maybe a couple of years ago where... Sorry, wait. Can I pee?
Oh, yeah, please.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's just at the end of the corridor, James.
Great. I'm going to do that. And then answer your great question. A very small bladder.
We're drinking water. It's a hot day.
It's a hot day.
We've been
No.
chatting for more than an hour.
This is like regardless of anything that normally contributes to one using their bladder. I just have an incredibly small one.
Is it because you're you're a producer, so you're always near a toilet, so you haven't built up the stamina of
No, I maybe, but this has been a thing like my whole life. I remember I used to, when I was in my 6 hours a day of practice phase, I used to leave my house to get to VCA at 7. So I'd leave at like 6:30. I lived like half an hour away. I'd pee before I leave, and like without fail, 4 out of 5 days of the week, I would be trying to find a park in South Bank, desperately needing pee, which, God, it really trains your fight or flight response. That is an experience that is all too familiar for
Wow.
me. So yeah, it's just a thing.
I wish I knew you when I was studying.
Yeah, me too.
Was Billy Morell in your
Yeah. Oh,
cohort?
yes, Billy.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember Billy.
Oh,
Lovely
cool.
guy.
Yeah, Billy used to play in my band.
Oh, cool.
I don't know why. Oh, I know why, because he's a
I
great
don't know
bass
why.
player. I don't know why we met. I think there was a band that was like a crossover, like half VCA, half Monash.
Oh, as in he was in your like ensemble.
No, as in my private soul band.
Fuck yeah, private soul band. Wait, what was it?
It's called the Hip Streets.
The Hip Streets.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it was a great time, but like you said, like that you weren't happy with like your band leader skills. My band leader inspirations were like Buddy Rich.
Oh, so you just beat the shit out of your band? Oh God.
Yeah, so it wasn't great.
Right.
Like, the band was tight as. But
they were in fear.
Yeah, I didn't physically beat anyone, but like, and Billy was a really good number 2.
Right. Okay.
And he was on board for like weekly rehearsals.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to know stuff. Everybody's going to show up. We're
Yeah.
just going to chuck the metronome on, and we're just going to like go
Yeah,
over this
right.
until we're like the tightest thing ever.
It's like James Brown.
Yeah. James Brown and Jamiroquai. Like they were all just.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up listening to, and I knew their stories, and I was like, all right,
That's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
To like out of 100% points, like how much do you think it worked?
It worked for making the band sound tight,
Right.
but it didn't work for having a successful band.
Right, because no one wanted to do it. Like,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, it was just like, we did an EP, and then I asked the guitarist to leave the band because it wasn't good
tight.
enough.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was like, I'm sorry, but I can't use anything that we've done. Looking back, I'm like, man, like way too harsh. Like, come on,
but
pull your head in.
To be honest, like I think that's one thing that I noticed between America and Australia, especially rhythm section, is like, because Americans, they grow up in church, they have so much, like they have rhythm section history in their veins, you know, whereas we don't have that. So I think it takes dedicated people over here to pull that sound off. And you know, you're talking about Jamiroquai, you're talking about James Brown, that's like American roots. Jamiroquai are American, right? Like,
they're UK.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm incorrect about that.
It's fine.
But like, I don't know. That's the thing. That's the biggest thing. And I taught Barney McCall was one of my teachers at VCA.
Okay. Yes.
And I'd talk to him, you know, after I left a bunch about just, man, drummers. That's the shit. Like, American drummers are all just like locked. American
Yeah.
drummers and bass players. Locked.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest difference between there and here. But I think, I explained it like this to someone a couple of months ago and they found it useful, so I will do it again. I think Australia has a really big emphasis on texture. I think the drummers here are incredibly textural and incredibly melodic.
That's so true.
And like, I don't know, I played in a free ensemble at Berklee and it wasn't the same as here. And I was kind of like, oh, people in Melbourne kind of get this a bit more than people.
Well, because
at
Australia
Berklee.
did that. Like the free jazz thing came across, and we were like, yeah, we're not really into fusion. We're into free jazz. And we have such like a long history of that as like the Australian jazz scene.
Right. Okay. I wasn't hip to that, but that's good to know.
Oh, well, that's my feeling of it. Like
Right.
we had a couple of fusion bands and like, the like Daly Wilson big band sort of thing. But like most of the Australian jazzes, like it went free. And all the tertiaries are run by guys that
That
like
did that.
free,
Yeah.
did it
Right.
and like teach it. And, now they're all the ones that were like studying 20, 30 years ago, now they're the ones teaching and
Yeah.
sort of like maintained the sort of like free side of things.
Cool.
Because like Monash was like so much like, we're going to teach you bebop. And
Yeah,
that's why I didn't
yeah.
go to the VCA, because I was like, I don't want to learn free jazz. I need to like be taught how to play my instrument,
yeah.
because I don't have like the technique to develop a voice. Like I want to know how to play.
Yeah.
And looking back, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Would you have changed it?
I think so now. The more people I've met from the VCA, the more I'm like, I reckon maybe I would have fit in better there, because I'm not a jazz guy.
Right.
I was just like, I'm going to learn jazz to like be good.
Right.
And it was really good until I broke my hand in second year.
Fuck.
I was playing basketball and this guy like karate chops my hand and it tore the ligament in my thumb.
You need that.
Yeah. And it
That's
was like
rough.
a week before my tech exam, like second year tech exam. Yeah. And so like I've never been the same again. But like you, I'd catch the first bus into Monash. I'd get there at they used to open at 6.
Yeah.
And then moved to 7 the next year. And I'd practice for 3 hours before class, I'd do the day of classes, and then I'd practice 6 to 10 at night.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And I was really on the like, I'm working
Practice
hard.
train.
And then I was like, oh, now like I can't use my hand for 6 months.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
And then I've got to like rehab it all.
Yeah.
And so I just lost like all my speed and chops and skills. And I lost the passion for like, I want to develop it, because I was like, I just want to be like a session drummer.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a chops guy. And then it was kind of like, there's not actually like the job for that.
Yeah. Not really. You have to be a good recording engineer to do that.
Exactly.
And it's interesting, like you say you lost all your speed and chops, etc. And that brought to mind, like I played a gig in London recently with my friend Cisco Swank, who's like, he's a keyboard player.
Sounds familiar.
His band, I saw that he was touring in London and I messaged him and I was like, can I just please play with you guys? Because it was like all my favorite musicians from Berklee. So I sat in on the gig.
Cool.
And I had a solo on one of the songs, and like I'm not really fit on the saxophone. Like I can play it and it's fine, but I don't have the speed and the chops I used to have. I played the solo and I was like, fuck, that's like the best solo I've ever played, because I just made good choices. I didn't fucking try and play the thing I was playing in a practice room 2 hours ago to like flex. I was like robbed of, because I could only play a few things. I was like, all right, well, how do I make these things work? And I just made so many more musical choices. So I think like, speed and chops are like useful if you're playing fusion music, and probably that, or like up tempo jazz. I don't know.
Yeah. Or Instagram reels.
Or Instagram reels. But even, I don't know, I find the Instagram reels where people are making good choices more interesting.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah. They are.
Yeah.
They're just not always as popular.
Yeah, that's sad.
Especially in like drummer land.
Yeah, right. Is it
all
Chopland?
Chopville.
I don't know. Sometimes hearing someone lay down a fucking groove, I'm like, yes.
I'm glad you love it too.
Oh, I feel like...
That's where it's at for me.
It's like Steve Jordan. People hire Steve Jordan. People hire Aaron Sterling because he feels so fucking good.
Yep.
And like, I don't know. I don't know. Chops just... I think anyone can develop chops, but like that feeling is like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing a few like indie rock gigs recently, and it's nice for me. I've had like such a, major life shift over like time and stuff. But like now I come in and play, and I'm not like I don't have my old mindset of like it's got to be like on, and it's you got to be this, and I'm like just like self-critical and like overthinking it all. Now it's just like, oh, you know, I'm hired to play a gig because they want me to play, and so I'm just like, I guess it's like a bit of that like confidence, like okay, it's gonna be good, like I know what I'm doing, I like the sounds, like you know, let's just like make really good music together rather than the like
I'm gonna fucking play the best fill ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If my drum teacher's in the back row, I better make sure I fit in like some really cool subdivision.
Yeah. God, I fucking hate it. Oh my God, when drummers just like 5/4, let's go. Ooh, and then it's gonna feel like 5 for a couple of bars.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Just play my song.
Just play. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's just me. But
all right, let's go back to your story though.
The long game. For those listening who can't see my hands, I have the words long and game tattooed on my fingers, which I realized after getting finger tattoos. Fingers are a hectic place to get tattoos. Like I feel like in terms of hecticness of tattoo placement, it's like face and then fingers.
It's very visible.
Very visible. This tattoo experience, just on a segue, it has been interesting because I think I'm like 85% convinced it was a good choice. But the nature of tattoos is you kind of have to accept it. So like, I'm just kind of treating it as like a mild lesson in severe acceptance.
Do you have any other tattoos?
I do. I have another one on my hands that says here. I have one on my left arm that's a rainbow. And I have one on my foot that's a door. Because it was my first tattoo, so I got my foot in the door.
Very clever.
Yeah, God. That was me at 18 thinking it was the fucking funniest thing in the world. And 6 years of explaining that. That's been, yeah. And the rest of my life doing that. But the long game is...
That's why you're wearing socks and sandals, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm covering all my bases. But the long game is kind of this idea of like, I don't want the blow up quick, fast career. I mean, this isn't only career, but this is kind of where the inception of the idea came from, is like, I want to do this in 40 years and still love it. And so I started just kind of repeating this mantra to myself whenever a decision would come up. I'm like, is this serving the long game? Like, is taking this gig right now gonna make me want to make music in 40 years? And just kind of applied that to like a lot of the decisions I was making. And then I just kind of figured it's a great philosophy to live your life by, which I've only recently realized, only really the first half of your life. Like no 70-year-old is being like, oh, better fucking make this decision for the long game. Like they're playing the short game and that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I think it just gave me a lot of relief from this idea that I have to be the biggest thing in the world right now. And I think I was plagued by that idea for a long time, actually. Like, I think being quite, what's the word? Like, being really into music and like quite good at music for a long time from a young age, you get a lot of people saying like, oh, you're going to do great things. You're going to do this and you're going to do that. And like, whilst that's awesome and I'm really grateful for the encouragement, I think it's also a bit of a curse. Like I found it really difficult to leave playing jazz saxophone because I'd had so many people who had said things like that to me. And then I've just felt like by not doing it, I'm letting everyone down. And it's like, so I've had this like constant weight of expectation on me for most of my musical life. And I think just like thinking about how long I'm going to make music for just flattened all of that out. Like it's no longer about like this quick climb of Mount Everest. Like I just got to Nepal. Like I can't even see Everest. I'm walking. And like at some point if I can walk for long enough, I'll be walking and I'll be like, oh fuck, I'm at the top of Everest. Cool. You know, so I think it's just, I guess it's like just saying like slow down and chill and zoom out. Like you don't have to be so focused on how this single goes or how this song goes. And you definitely shouldn't let that affect whether you keep on making music, you know? So that's kind of the vibe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, thanks. I think it's awesome too. I thought it was so awesome that I made a decision to get it tattooed on my fingers.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, thanks. Me too.
I also like that you put it like facing you.
Yes, there's a funny, well, it's not that funny of a story, but like I went to London because I've had the idea of having this tattoo for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to London earlier this year, as I've mentioned before, and about a month in, I was hanging out with these people, and one of them was a tattoo artist, and she was like, oh, if any of you guys want tattoos, like I'm happy to give you tattoos. And I was like, oh yeah, I actually have this idea for a tattoo. I want long game on my fingers. And she was like, oh yeah. And I was like, yeah, I want it to be facing me. And she was just so like not into that idea. She was like,
oh
no, it has to be facing out. And I was like, no. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that was a funny story, but this makes sense to me. Like it's the point of it is to remind me of this, not to transmit the message to anyone else, even though I did get it on my fingers, a very, very visible part of my body. But yeah, I don't know. And it's really nice. I've only had it for 4 days, and like it is. Do you have any tattoos?
no.
Okay, when you get it, at least in my experience, when you get a tattoo for the first week, it is like the most obvious thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of just fades into being part of your body. I feel like that's just how your brain works. It gets used to it. So
Sure.
like my intention with getting here on my hand was to remind me where I am and to be present, essentially. I fucking don't see that very often.
Yeah, right.
But I'm in that phase of just seeing it all the time, and especially because, you know, I'm playing keyboards and I'm, typing I'm using a computer all the time. It's very visible. So I'm trying to soak it in whilst it lasts.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm happy with it. It looks good.
It's cool. It's very cool. And thanks for sharing the story.
Thanks. Oh, no worries. Happy to.
So let's wrap up with our 5 quick answer questions.
Okay. Give it to me.
Thanks. I've had such a good time. Thanks, James.
Me too. Thank you.
What is your favourite venue to play in Melbourne?
I like Northcote Social. It sounds good in there. And if you don't pack it out, it doesn't feel bad. Like I think there are some venues, I'm trying to think of exact venues, but like there are venues that feel empty unless they're full. Northcote Social is forgiving, I think.
Yeah.
And it's convenient to get to.
It's a great room.
Yeah.
What would be your dream venue to play at?
Red Rocks. 100%. That, like, oh God, imagine just fucking playing and being like, that's a rock. Yeah, it'd be amazing.
What is your coffee order?
Long black. Always has been.
What's your favourite place to get food after a gig in Melbourne?
Ooh. This is a hard one because I don't play that many gigs.
That's true. After a awesome production session, what's your favourite place to get a bite to eat?
God, I mean, I just moved to Brunswick and I do frequent very good falafel. And I do like very good falafel a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
They are excellent.
Oh, they're very good. As advertised.
Final question.
Mm-hmm.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Oh. Stop trying to impress people. Yeah, I think that's it. But I don't know. It's hard. Those questions are hard because it's like I said before, I'm stoked with how it all ended up. So it's like I wouldn't want to like fuck around with that. But yeah, like I don't know. Stop trying to be a fucking shredlord and listen to the music. Listen. Sorry, I've edited my short answer.
It's fine.
But like I was saying to someone yesterday, I was being asked about like Berklee and shit, and it's funny, like everyone who came and talked, like Christian McBride, Herbie Hancock, all these guys, they all said the same shit. They were all just like, listen. And I think like that is the best advice you can give to anyone, whether it's music or not music. Like that word changed my life. It's like, if you're on the bandstand, listen to what's going on. You'd be amazed by how well it can inform what you're about to do, rather than like, oh, these changes are coming up, plonk.
Yes.
You know, and same in life. Like if you're in a conversation and you're worried about what to say, cheat code, ask a question and listen to the answer. You'll probably get another question, or it'll inform what you'll say next. Like, I don't know. It's so simple and fucking life-changing. Maybe that's my next tattoo. I need.
What about on the other hand? You've got here.
Listen here. Yeah, I could do that. Although I don't feel like I need to be reminded about listening most of the time. Like I think
maybe that's the one that like is facing outwards.
Yeah. that could be perceived as quite aggressive. I'd imagine, like just me being like, listen.
Depending on placement and text.
Yeah.
Like forehead.
No, it is amazing though how easy it is to forget. Like I remember Loz, my partner, came home one day, and she hung out with, interestingly, her ex-boyfriend, who I don't have chance with. He's a lovely guy, but he said this thing to her. He was like, most people in conversations are waiting to speak, not listening. And I was like, that fucking blew my little mind. I was like, oh my God, he's right. Everyone's just waiting to speak. I'm waiting to speak all the time. And yeah, listening just makes life so much more interesting. So much more fun.
Yeah. And you actually you know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's going on. And like the other thing that's like related to this is that I live by is like, no one's boring. Everyone just needs to be asked the right questions, which I guess maybe resonates to you as a podcaster. You know, like, yeah, people just need to be asked the right questions and they become fucking incredibly interesting. And I guess that like really relates to my job, because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to bring people's spirits out of themselves by asking the right questions or saying the right things or whatever. So and you have to listen in order to do that. So listen, young James, listen.
Well, thank you so much, Jim Alexander, for being on the podcast.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Luke Singleton.
Where did you get the idea for like no vowels?
God, by being a fucking idiot. that's where I got the idea. I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and now the bane of my existence is being like, it's Jim Alexander, but it's spelled ALXNDR.
Yeah, you didn't think about that, but when you...
I was not playing the long game at that point. That's very short game move.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Yeah, your music's awesome. I love it.
Thanks.
I feel, so privileged to be able to have this like long form chat with you. And if you want like people to check out your music, what is the best like link I can put up for them on our website? Like,
I guess you check out my Instagram or my Spotify. If you want to listen to the songs I've made, go to Spotify. If you want to listen to that and also me just like playing guitar, go to my Instagram. There, it's all there.
Perfect.
Well, come to my house. Post my address. No, don't do that, please.
Yeah, I had to take a few guests' like mobile phone numbers off when I asked, and they're like, "Oh, they could probably just call me." And I was like, "I don't know if like maybe we should have like some kind of like a buffer."
Yeah,
yeah.
I appreciate.
These are people from a different generation to us.
True. True. Where can we reach you? Here's my number.
Yeah.
Yeah, try get that.
You know, the phone book, that apparently everybody did that. Yeah. Anyway, this has been really fun. Thanks.
Thank you. Oh, what a vibe.
Thanks for joining us on Our Drummers Musicians. I hope you enjoyed diving into the world of another musician as much as I did. Help us grow by leaving a review and sharing the podcast with your friends, family, favorite artist, or anyone else who might enjoy it. For more info and updates, visit ourdrummersmusicians.com. See you next time.